What's going on, guys? It is Wyatt, and if I've been doing my job uploading videos to this channel more regularly, you guys know that I just recently moved to Florida. Now, you're probably asking, what the heck am I doing back here in the shop in Colorado? That is because I'm filming this before the move. Now, we have a ton of stuff to do to this truck, and hopefully I've made a couple of videos about all the things that we're doing to it before the big trip. But today, I figured I will record this one to upload after we are actually down there. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the intro and then jump into the tasks that we need to get done on the tow rig today so that we can take this damn thing down to Florida. Y'all want some fucking cheeseburgers? Friendly hill with redneck. Hi. So like I said, guys, I am currently down in Florida, but I wanted to get some things done on the truck and film them to be uploaded later so that we could make the journey down there. So what we're going to be doing today is installing a new stereo system in this tow rig. If you guys don't know, this is my 2012 GMC Sierra 3500 HD. We've done some videos on it in the past, and it does have a stock stereo in it right now that is not the greatest. It does work, it picks up FM, AM just fine, all the speakers work, but the problem is we took this thing on a 30-hour journey, and there was no way in hell I was going to listen to 15 hours worth of commercials on my way down there. So you guys can see that it does have just the stock stereo in here, and the reason we're replacing it mainly, like I said, is because I hate commercials, so I don't want to listen to FM on the drive down there. It does have an aux input, but it sucks. If you wiggle the cord around whatsoever, it will cut out the left side speakers and it just goes off the wall. It also has this USB port, which is supposed to be for Android Auto or what have you. It's supposed to connect to your phone and be able to play music through the stereo. But with my Galaxy S20 Ultra, it does not work. When you plug it in, it just says USB connection not supported. So here on the workbench, we have all of the items that are going to be replacing the factory stereo in the truck. I did get all of this from Crutchfield. They made it really easy to find all of this stuff and build out the kit that will be easy to install in the truck. I'm not an audio aficionado, so hopefully this is all the right stuff that I need. It is what their site recommended, and with any luck, it will go together without any hassle. So we're gonna give it a shot. Like I said, not an audio aficionado, so I really hope this stuff just goes together and works. Half the time, I will just cut the factory connectors off the wiring harness and wire everything in my own way, just because I'm a cheap ass. But today, I spent the money and just wanted to do it right the first go around. So without further ado, we are going to be installing this Alpine ILX W650 receiver. This guy is super slim. I think it's like 2.5 inches deep. It's got a digital receiver instead of an analog receiver, I guess. I don't know. Makes it really thin, so hopefully it will fit in there without any cutting. I also went ahead and got the iData link from Maestro, something or another. I got their RR, the older style, interface module so that we can keep our steering wheel controls and OnStar and our factory dingers. And then it came with their install kit, I'm assuming to plug into the factory wiring harness. Also went with a Crux rear view camera. This is just a cheapo. We'll see how it works. Over on this side, we have our dash install kit. So this will go in and replace the factory stereo and allow us to mount the Alpine in there. Also got a USB adapter so that we can hopefully retain that factory USB port in the dash to do Apple Auto, or not Apple Auto, Android Auto with the stereo, and that'll just keep it a lot cleaner instead of having a USB cord dangling out. And because it's a GM, we also have a fancy little antenna adapter. So with any luck, my dumbass can get this stuff installed without any issues, and it just works the first go around. So the first thing to do is remove our factory head unit. This is super simple. We're gonna go ahead and pull off this bezel. It just kind of snaps out of the way. And then there's a couple of screws back here that hold the head unit in, a couple of connectors, and this guy will be right out. Simple as that. The stock unit is out of the way. Now I can get a look at these factory connectors and try to put it together in my mind on how to build a harness for this thing with everything that we have. So let's go ahead, go back over to the bench, start looking at this stuff and see what I can't mess up. So I got the wiring harness all completed and it is right here ready to go in the truck. Super simple. It did take me quite a bit longer than I wish it would have to get this done, but just going through it slow and making sure everything's right. So this end here is going to plug into our new Alpine head unit. This guy here goes into the factory wiring, and then you just mount this box somewhere. This piece here goes into the head unit for the steering wheel controls. And then we also need to mount this speaker somewhere and also hook up our USB adapter deal to incorporate it into the factory USB port. So yeah, we're all good to go there. So like I had mentioned earlier, this is my first time actually using an interface module to integrate everything into an aftermarket stereo. And so far I am extremely impressed with this Maestro, whatever the hell it is, RR. I'm not sure how well the camera will pick up the screen, but this thing's very intuitive about how you flash the module and what you're actually going to be using it for. So you just run it through everything that you've purchased, your vehicle, what the factory options were of the vehicle and whatnot, and I guess it's going to do the rest. But I just wanted to throw that quick note in there. I am super impressed with this thing so far, so hopefully it is as easy as it is seeming right now. Their desktop application, super awesome. Like really, whoever designed this, great job. It's super intuitive, but also really easy and just really straightforward. So yeah, let's go ahead, give this a shot. We're gonna try and flash this thing and hopefully all goes well. Taking a real quick look inside the truck, I wanna show you guys something that's kind of neat that I like to do. A lot of you guys who have aftermarket stereos probably know how big of a pain in the ass it is to get the stereo mic to stay up. A lot of the times they just give you kind of a chintzy little clip and you slide it up in the headliner, but it always seems to move. So what I do is cut that clip down quite a ways and just drill a hole through it, and then I pop rivet up into this A-pillar cover. That way it doesn't go anywhere, nice and solid. You ain't got to worry about that thing falling out or moving around on you all the time. I also went ahead and got all the other wiring ran for the stereo to go in. So we have our lead for the rear view camera here, and also the headphone jack. Got all the wires tied up underneath the dash and whatnot there. So now we're ready to go ahead and get the stereo installed. I'm gonna go ahead, grab the brackets, get everything put in here, and with any luck, this thing will fire right up and work as it should on the first try. And just like that, we are back together with our new stereo installed. Now for you guys, it's probably been like a minute of time, but in reality, this did take me about 3 to 4 hours to get this all installed and get to this point. So that does kind of suck, but I did go ahead and fire this thing up already, and it works flawless. There is nothing, no major problems. There's a couple little things that I would change or might change in the near future, but for the most part, as far as functionality, everything works as it should. Steering wheel controls, USB input, the entire 9 yards. So we're gonna go ahead and fire this thing up, show you guys it really quickly, not super in depth because I'll get copyrighted for playing music to you guys. But yeah, we'll just go ahead and show you it around real quick. So it does take about 10 seconds for this exact unit to fire up. So it is doing that right now. You can see that we have some extreme lighting going on here. So sorry that everything is kind of blown out on the image here. But yeah, we'll wait for this to boot up. There we go. I got my phone plugged in and have already set up Android Auto with this thing. So if I go ahead, unplug that, plug it back in, it'll take us into Android Auto. Maybe, there we go. I believe this dude is copyright free. I love a bunch of his music. It's actually what I use on the intro of my video. So for you guys asking, it is the artist, The Fat Rat. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and turn a song on real quick. This thing does still have stock door speakers in it and the stock little tweeters up in the A-arms or A-pillars, but it sounds really good for what it is, and everything functions like it should. So let's go ahead. We can either do it from the phone or on the screen here.
If we fall, we will rise up and we fall together. We believe in. No, we're not gonna stop until we reach it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. We rise up from the dust and clean the throat.
So here at the back of the truck, we need to do a couple of things. So first of all, we need to install our rear view camera. Now, I can't decide quite yet whether I want to put it up here on the handle bezel or whatnot and point it down at the hitch, or if I should mount it over here on this little tab and have it pointed at the hitch. I don't really use it to back up, mainly just to line up with trailers. It's super convenient to have that. So that's one thing we need to do, and I also need to install the new set of taillights that I got. So these are a lot better right now, but these things used to be horrible, and you can still see they're full of like mossy water and just gross. So new taillights, gonna get those installed. We also need to straighten this piece right here. As you can see, it's been pushed in and is really close to that tailgate, and it's mainly just this very thin sheet metal right here. Not really sure if it was from the bumper being hit or if it was from God only knows what. So we're gonna go ahead and tackle that real quick as well, and hopefully we can get all that knocked out fairly quick. Well guys, fast forward 24 hours from the last clip you just saw. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys that we got the new taillights installed, those eBay specials. They work fine. They will do the task that I need them to do, but they don't fit the greatest, so that's kind of a bummer, but what can you expect for like 80 bucks? After that, I spent most of today getting the rear view camera installed. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this, but I did mount it in this handle, or the rear tailgate handle bezel, and to be honest, I really do not like this rear view camera. It's mainly just because it's cheap and it's a really chintzy and poorly designed housing for the camera. The camera quality itself is decent for what it is. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was like 30 or 40 bucks. So I can't really complain, but yeah, just the housing and the design of it was really shitty, and it just doesn't work that great. So definitely would not recommend that to you guys. It is that Crux 15 backup camera. Like I said, it's functional, but I'm sure there are way better options out there. So can't recommend that, but it'll work for now. It does display on the radio, and I will be able to back up to trailers a little bit easier in the meantime, until I decide that I want to do something else with it. I also went ahead and updated a couple things on the stereo itself. Like I was talking to you guys about earlier, I went ahead and removed the door chime because I just got tired of that, so I took that guy out. And I also changed the volume down key to where if you hold it, it just goes down volume quicker, and also changed a couple other things around. So that's that. That is all good to go. And lastly, for tonight, what we need to get done is some new brakes on this thing. So we are going to be towing a big trailer down to Florida, or did, because you guys are watching this after the fact. And the brakes that are on this thing are not adequate. The fronts are pretty warped, so you get a nice shimmy in the wheel when you hit the brakes. They're also heat cracked pretty badly. So I went on Rock Auto and ordered me some Power Stops. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I love Power Stop brakes. Honestly, I've never had a problem with them. They're super affordable, and like I said, they're great for the money. So went ahead, picked up some new brakes for the truck. I think it was like 400 bucks shipped, and that was with all new rotors and all new pads. And I think doing it through the parts store would have been like $500 or $600 for who knows how crappy of stuff. So this stuff works really good. I have them on my 03 and my 09 and tow with them quite often, and they seem to hold up really well. So that's what we went with again for today, and we're gonna go ahead and get those guys installed next. So these here are the old rotors and brake pads. These two are the fronts, those are the rears. If you take a quick look, I'm not sure how well the camera's gonna wanna pick this up, but you can see just how bad that this rotor surface is. You can see there's a bunch of cracking in it, and I believe this is where it was mostly warped because it doesn't look like it was really wearing in there. And then you can also see on these pads, if it'll focus, the cracking in all of those. So pretty much all the pads looked like this guy, and then this was the worst rotor, along with the other ones that weren't in great shape, but not as bad as that one. So I'm glad we went ahead and got those replaced. As you can see, I've already got the truck back on the ground, and all of the new brakes are on it and ready to go. So next thing we're gonna do is set up the power bleeder and bleed the whole system real quick. If you guys have never used a power bleeder or some kind of an assisted brake bleeder, I definitely recommend it. They make doing this job so much easier. The nice thing about mine is it also makes it very easy to replace all of the fluid in the brake system. The fluid that's in this is probably original with 230,000 miles on it, and it looks pretty gross. So we're gonna be using that to put all new brake fluid in this guy, and yeah, let's go ahead, get that guy set up and get these things bled. So this guy here is the power bleeder that I use. I don't know exactly what it is. My old man has had this thing for ages and it works really well. So what it is up in this top portion, it is full of brake fluid, and then underneath it's got a big diaphragm in between them, and then underneath you pressurize it just with air, and then it pushes that diaphragm up and forces brake fluid out of the top and then into your adapter in your master cylinder, and then it keeps pressure on that guy. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and start from the back corner and go around and crack all the bleeders loose. At the back, we will start with bleeding that one all the way until we have fresh fluid that is nice and clear coming out of it. And then we will start to go around to each corner. We will start with bleeding the furthest one away from the master cylinder and then work our way closer and closer until we are at this front corner here. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing back up in the air and start getting these things bled. And just like that, the brake system on the truck is completely up to par. So along with using the brake power bleeder deal, I plugged into the truck with my scanner and was able to do an ABS module bleed to get any air out of that guy. So the system has absolutely no air in it, and the brakes should be working to the best of their ability. As far as this video, that's pretty much all I'm gonna get done. This one was a little bit different. I didn't do any of the time-lapse stuff. If you guys don't like it like that, if you guys like the time lapse, let me know down in the comments below. Just kind of trying to change up the way that I film stuff, always adapting and seeing what you guys prefer. So like I said, leave some comments down below if you guys want the time lapse or you prefer it without it. With that being said, I still have a ton to do on the truck, such as installing the new injectors before the road trip. If you guys didn't see the first start video of this truck, you can see all of the injector install and the problems that we had with the truck on the first startup in the previous video, maybe a couple videos ago by now. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave off for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave it a like and a comment down below. Love hearing from you guys as always, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.